He wanted a world without gods, but he ended up being reincarnated with the power of summon the strongest god. And what thou always wanted to enjoy an environment, relaxed and normal life, but there was a problem. Your father, a maniac who founded a new religion preaching to its goddess Mitrama and made her son's life a terrible hell, to the point of forcing go into a ritual where that would make him the next cult leader, with all those random men like followers of cult they carried, and the fifth that was locked inside a barrel and threw it into the sea. The objective is that it survive underwater for 3 days and beat death, of course. And what do you begged for his life, knowing that it was the end of him, but his father didn't care, intimidates and believes that this ritual will save him. The old man exalts to say how his God is omnipotent, omniscient, invincible. With the utmost faith he tells his son that his goddess will surely save, and without no trace of sanity they throw at fifth off the cliff and he falls into his water. Mind starts giving you memories of flashbacks as he falls deeper in the water. He remembers when he tried be a normal kid, play with animals and just hanging out with friends, to be disturbed and carried away by followers of the cult. The cult destroyed its life. They forced him to endure loneliness because no one wanted to stay near him. At school they tried literally kill him by nearly burning the alive and being heavily beaten by your father, forcing you to stand strong before of a waterfall. In short, he never was made to enjoy luck and peace in this life. And so when he slowly begins to lose consciousness, he does your last wish, if your goddess gives me really exists, he wants her to leave. Oh, being reborn in a world without gods or religion happily. And what you wake up to after being saved by a girl called Laura, she promises to take care of him until he fully recovers. Mentions that she works at the restaurant from Villa. He doesn't understand at first, but then looking around he realizes that is in a different world. Your dream of reincarnate in another world has become reality. He immediately asks normal things. She doesn't understand well, but after a explanation, a clear idea, he wants one work. He goes on all excited already, thinking using a sword and magic, but ends up getting a job like farmer. He gets angry. This is a boring mission, and to make matters worse there is Roy, who, without introducing herself, claims that all the women of the village are his other guy with character syndrome. Main happily does the kid random stop. So what to take dagger? And the obvious reaction is to ask where it is. The level 1 goblins, but of course this does not come true. His task is pick grapes, but end up picking too many and don't know what to do then. And what do you? Decides to make wine, something that nobody knew how to do. All immediately if make him friendly, and he stays repeating what he thinks about his missions. Farmer's initials. He ends up becoming friends with the villagers and lives with the Moral and her older sister. Followed a day while cultivating, and what do you see? A villager running and shouting to everyone, run. Following comes a huge beast, animated evil, that turns your attention for him to relax and leave it all to him. While pulling a book he opens and starts to take some kind of spell from black magic. And what fascinates you? For the first time he is about to watch magic, but rice spell. It's called Yukito. Run for your life. They manage to outwit the beast mist and is proud of barely surviving. But what about that you're mad they didn't even fight to? He run. It's a shame. He pulls the Roy by the collar and asks why he doesn't fought back, but it was said that they cannot beat him. And what you get even more furious and asks why. Then I was reading a book. Well, the book contains strategies on how to overcome different types of monsters. After go back to the restaurant and have wounds treated by morals. And the fifth finally realizes there is no magic in this world, despite not being the kind of reincarnation he dreamed. He still thinks it's not too bad. At least he can get drunk by the end of the day and observe and spew rainbows of morals. Comment that everyone was happier upon his arrival, and shyly asks that he stay there forever. And like that the world has no devil, he begins to conform and accept his new life. He mentions that he should thank God for sending him there, but realizes that no one knows anything about God or spirituality. While hunting approaches him to tell him about the book Forbidden, something that is even forbidden to speak about it. He immediately thinks that This is your chance. It will lead to mysteries of this new world. He asks what this book is about. Find out. It's a normal book about intimacy between couples accompanied by royal. And what do you have your bosses on? Imperial capital, or in points to the palace, and says the fifth to avoid. Talk to someone in town. And what do you? Does not understand why he made a mistake. Explains that the people of your village are hated by townspeople. They arrive at the bookstore and find a forbidden book that were desperate looking. And what? You get curious thinking about why a book like that is not suitable in this world, being something no big deal. Everyone goes crazy thinking about how this has a unpleasant look. But what do you think? That it is a normal book. The moral is the only who is amused because she found one more advanced than what she currently has. While they come back, they see a concentration of people. Curiosity of what you take the best about him. Who checks? He sees some people on their knees and others imperial guards behind them. With a order of the guards, people drink something and immediately pass out. He is shocked and does not understand what is happening, but Rural grabs his hand and takes him away. He asks what was that, and she explains to her that the country has a system that decides when taking someone's life. Goes crazy once again since it doesn't understands what it's about. He asks if this may apply to them, but it intervenes, explaining that not because his village is special and treated in a way indifferent. The two boys walk away, while morals lag behind afterwards, to realize that your sister and her name are on the next hit list tonight, and the fifth is trying to sleep when the morals suddenly sneaks into your bed. He doesn't understand what's going on, but that's what she just read in your new book and want to put it into practice. She apologizes after tying up, regain her senses, and reveals that she was sent to Aldea because of her personality. She reveals that the village is nothing more than a field of isolation to where commoners are sent. She exposes her shoulder and reveals a scar mark. She reveals that all those who have death or do not follow the country rules is flagged and banned for an isolation field. But she feels happy that Yukito is different from the others. It has no brand, but it doesn't look like it. Look with disgust at them. They help. They teach new things. He is the first person from outside who treats everyone like comrades and family. And what do you? Reveals that they also share past in your past life. Not all they liked him because of the cult, but this time he finally got it done. Your first friends. And what you wake up but find the unusually empty restaurant. He can't see the rural, or if he lorried in nowhere. He thinks they closed for the day and checks out there. He sees Roy lying on the floor after taking a mass spanking. He checks his friend immediately and asks what happened. Roy reveals that the sisters were taken and explains the imperial system with depth. Normal people are instructed to walk the line to stay alive, but the people of your village don't have that right. Their lives are taken. The strength, and today was the sisters' day. Know their end. He asks, sorry, but our boy can't stand still. Accompanied by Klein, he run to the capital where morals don't. Can you believe that she just watched his sister's last breath? The guard pushes down and prepares to finish her off with her sword. But and what do you put in style in your first real adventure? He hits on two soldiers one after the other until piercing an iron helmet. Every area guards surround him, but he has no fear. He looks to hold ask why they are doing this with them, and the captain of the Imperial Guard comes in saying it's because they have afraid of dying, something they don't should because it will happen sooner or later. And without any reaction, the captain draws his sword and stabs either Yukito. He goes down and looks at the Laurel that is screaming his name, but the captain cut her immediately. Barely getting to survive, he crawls to the rural, breathless, asking why that happened. He sees the necklace he gave to her, and her father's words come back to your mind that your goddess plots me will surely save him. With his last hope, he grabs the necklace, asking to save the sisters. For the first time in his life, he starts to sing the same words his father used, pray to your god. And at that moment, the necklace jewel leaped into the air, creating lightning. The sky opened and a ball huge that looked like I am appeared, clearing the sky, and from that a blonde girl, and went down to earth. That immediately he finally called her and accepted, but the That you were no longer breathing. She finally understood. She used all her power to create guns that dragged all the guards into the abyss.